you so much, everyone, for joining. Please accept my humble obeisances. Always Srila Prabhupada. So we will start with the some Mangalacharan prayers to invoke the blessings from all the previous acharyas. And thank you so much, Venu Gita Mataji, for helping with the live stream and all. Do you want me to scroll this page document, or would be okay to scroll?
I can scroll it, Prabhu.
Okay, thank you. Om Jnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayyam Dadati Swapadantikam Adadana Dante Idam Yache Puna Puna Srimad Rupa Padam Bhoje Dhuli Sham Janma Janmani Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamsha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Visakhanvitamsha Nam Shreshtam Manumapi Sachiputram Atra Sarupam Rupam Tasyagrajam Urupurim Mathurim Ghoshthavatim Radha Kundam Girivaram Maho Radhika Madhavasam Prapto Yasya Pratita Kripaya Sri Gurum Tam Natosmi. He Guru Jnanada Dina Bandhu Swananda Data Karuneka Sindhu Vrindavanasi Nahita Avatara Prasida Radha Pranay Prachara. He Dina Bandhu Karuneka Sindhu Kuru Prasadam Mai Mandamudhe Laksha Parade Bahupapagade Tatpad Padme Stumatisha Krishne Prata Shriman Navadvipe Dvinetram Dvibhujam Gurum Varabhya Pradam Santam Smaretan Nama Purvakam Tvam Gopika Vrish Tvam Gopika Vrishravesha Tanyantikesi Sevadhikarini Guru Nijapad Padme Dashyam Pradaya Kurumam Vraja Kanane Shri Radhangri Sevana Rasa Sukhim Sukhinim Sukhabda Sri Guru Paramananda Premananda Falaprada Prajananda Pradhananda Sevayama Niyojaya Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesa Sunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Iti Namine Sri Varsabhanavi Devi Daitaya Kripabdhaye Krishna Sambandha Vijnana Daine Prabhave Namaha Madhuryojjvala Premadhya Sri Rupanuga Bhaktida Sri Gaura Karuna Sakti Vigrahaya Namostute Namaste Gauravani Sri Murtaye Dinatarine Rupanuga Viruddhapa Siddhanta Dhvanta Harine Namo Gaura Kishoraya Sakshad Vairagya Murtaye Vipralamba Rasambodhe Padambhujayate Namaha Namo Bhakti Vinodaya Satchidananda Namine Gaura Sakti Swarupaya Rupanuga Varayate Gauravirbhava Bhumistvam Nirdeshta Sajjana Priya Vaishnava Sarvabhauma Sri Jagannathaya Te Namaha Vancha Kalpatarubhyasya Kripa Sindhubhya Eva Cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namine Gauratrise Namaha Panchatattvatmakam Krishnam Bhaktarupa Swarupakam Bhaktavataram Bhaktakhyam Namami Bhakta Saktikam He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesa Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute जयतां सुरतोपङ्गोर् मम मन्दमतिर्गति मत्सर्वस्व पदाम्भोजौ राधा मदन मोहनौ दिव्याद् वृन्दारण्यकल्पद्रुमदः श्रीमद् रत्नागर सिंहासनस्थौ श्रीमद् राधा श्रीलगोविन्ददेवो प्रेष्ठालिभिः सेव्यमानो स्मरामि श्रीमान् रासरसारम्भी वंशी वटतटस्थिता कर्षण्वेणु स्वनैर्गोपीर् गोपीनाथ श्रीयस्तु नः ए तीन ठाकुर गौड़िया के करिया छे आत्मसात ए तीनेरा चरण बंदो तीने तीने मोरनाथ तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानु सुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वन्दे नन्दव्रजस्त्रीणां पादरेणुम् अभिक्षशः यासां हरिकथोद्गीतं पुनाति भुवनात्रयम् हन्तायाम् अद्रिरबला हरिदासवर्यो यद् रामकृष्णचरणस्पर्शा प्रमोदा मानं तनोति सह गोगणयोस्तयोर्यत् पानीयसूयवसकन्दरकन्दमूले वृन्दाय तुलसीदेव्याय प्रियाय केशवस्य च विष्णुभक्तिप्रदे देवी सत्यवत्य नमो नमः श्री नरसिंह जय जय नरसिंह प्रह्लादेशा जय पद्मा मुख पद्म भृंगा यदा यदा हि धर्मस्य ग्लानिर्भवति भारत अभ्युत्थानमधर्मस्य तदात्मानं सृजाम्यहम् परित्राणाय साधूनां विनाशाय च दुष्कृतां धर्म संस्थापनार्थाय संभवामि युगे युगे मन्मना भव मद्भक्तो मद्याजी मां नमस्कुरु मामेवैस्यसि युक्तैवम् आत्मानं मत्परायण सर्वधर्मान् परित्यज्य मामेकं शरणं व्रज अहं त्वं सर्वपापेभ्यो मोक्षयिष्यामि मा शुचः शुश्रूषो श्रद्धधानस्य वासुदेवा कथारुचि स्यान्महत्सेवया विप्रा पुण्यतीर्थनिसेवनात् शृण्वतां स्वकथा कृष्ण पुण्यश्रवणकीर्तना हृदयन्थस्थो हि अभद्राणि विधुनोति सुहृत्सताम् नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्ठकी तदा रजस्तमो भावा कामलोभादयश्च ये चेतयेतेरनाविद्धं स्थितं सत्त्वे प्रसीदति एवं प्रसन्न मनसो भगवद्भक्ति योगता भगवत्तत्त्वविज्ञानं मुक्तसङ्गस्य जायते भिद्यते हृदये ग्रन्थे छिद्यन्ते सर्वसंशया क्षीयन्ते चास्य कर्माणि दृष्ट एवात्मनीश्वरे माली है करे से बीज आरोपण श्रवण कीर्तन जले करे सेचन ताहा विस्तरित है फले प्रेम फल ताहा माली सींचे नित्य श्रवणादि जल वैराग्य विद्या निज भक्ति योगा शिक्षार्थमेका पुरुषा पुराणा श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य शरीरधारी कृपां बुधिर्यस्तम अहं प्रपद्ये कालं नष्टं भक्ति योगं निजं य प्रादुष्कर्तुं कृष्ण चैतन्य नामा आविर्भूतस्तस्य पदारविन्दे गाढं गाढं लियतां चित्तभिङ्गः अजानुलंबित भुजौ कनकावदातो संकीर्तनैकपितरौ कमलायताक्षौ विश्वम्भरो द्विजवरो युगधर्मपालो वन्दे जगत्प्रियकरो करुणावतारो चैतन्य कृष्ण चैतन्यो गौरांगो द्विजनायका यतीनां दण्डिनां चैव न्यासीनां च शिरोमणि रक्तांबराधरा श्रीमान् नवद्वीप सुधाकरा प्रेम भक्ति प्रदस्यैव श्री सचिनंदनस्तथा नित्यानंद अवधुतेन्दुर्वसुधा प्राणवल्लभा जानवी जीवितापति कृष्ण प्रेमा प्रदा प्रभु पद्मावती सुता श्रीमान श्री सचिनंदन पूर्वजा भावोन्मत्तो जगत्राता रक्त गौरा कलेवरा मत्समो नास्ति पापात्मा नापराधी च कश्चन परिहारेऽपि लज्जा मे किं ब्रुवे पुरुषोत्तमा युवतीनां यथा यूनि यूनां च युवतो यथा मनोभिरमते तद्वन् मनो मे रमतां त्वयि भूमौ स्खलितपादानां भूमिरेवानलम्बनं त्वयि जातापराधानां त्वमेव शरणं प्रभो गोविन्द वल्लभे राधे प्रार्थयन्ते त्वामहं सदा त्वदीयमिति जानातो Govindo mam tvaya saha Radhe Vrindavanadhise Karunamrita Vahini Kripaya Nija Padabja Dasyam Mahiyam Pradiyatam Nitai namene che namer hate Shraddha Mulya nam dite che re Nitai namene che namer hate Shraddha Mulya nam dite che re Nitai namene che namer hate Shraddha Mulya nam dite che re Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna. Thank you so much, Madhavi, for sharing the Mangalachan prayer. To this gives us access to the our Guru Sampradayak and all the previous acharyas and Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to Lord Krishna to invoke their blessings. Because what we are trying to present here is just repeating the words that they have spoken. So today the main focus of the discussion will be Bhagavad Gita. Before that, we can have some kirtan, and one particular kirtan, maybe we can have the Dasa Avatar Strot by Srila Jayadev Goswami. Let me share my screen so all of you can follow too. And 1 minute, I have some. Yep, you can have this one. So we can also meditate on the form when we are singing. In this beautiful prayers, which is actually the preface of the Geet Govind, written by Jayadev Goswami, where he kind of summarizes 10 incarnation, and at last he says like Krishna's to Bhagavan, like how actually Lord Krishna is appeared in all these different incarnation. So this is very dear to Srila Prabhupada. You can hear there are lots of recording of this particular song he is singing, and so we'll follow in his footsteps and sing this song. Hare Krishna. So maybe you can all follow. We can all together sing because it's Zoom, so too difficult to follow and respond. So we all can sing together. Pralaya payodhi jale dhritvanasi vedam Vihitavahitra charitra makhedam Kesavadhrita meena sarira Jai Jagadisa Hare Jai Jagadisa Hare Jai Jagadisa Hare. O Kesava, O Lord of the universe, O Lord Hari, you who have assumed the form of fish, all glories to you. You easily acted as a boat in the form of a giant fish just to give protection to the Vedas, which had become immersed in the turbulent sea of devastation. Next one. Chitiriha vipulatare tishtati tava prishte Dharanidharana kina chakra garishe Kesavadhrita kurma sarira Jai Jagadisa Hare Jai Jagadisa Hare Jai Jagadisa Hare. O Keshav, O Lord of the universe, O Lord Hari, who have assumed the form of a tortoise, all glories to you. In this incarnation, as a divine tortoise, the great Mandara mountain raised upon your gigantic back as a poet for churning the ocean of milk. From holding up the huge mountain, a large scare-like depression is put in your back, which has become most glorious. Jai Kurumadev. Vasati dasana sikhare dharati tavalagna Sasinika lanka kaleva nimagna Kesavadhrita Sukara Rupa Jai Jagadish Hare. O Keshav, O Lord of the universe, O Lord Hari, who have assumed the form of a boar, all glories to you. The earth, which had become immersed in the Garbhodak ocean at the bottom of the universe, sits fixed upon the tip of your tusk like a spot upon the moon. Tava kara kamala varena kamadbhuta shringam Dalita hiranya kasipu tanu bhringam Kesavadhrita narahari rupa Jai Jagadish Hare. O Keshav, O Lord of the universe, O Lord Hari, who have assumed the form of half man, half lion, all glories to you. Just as one can easily crush a wasp between one's fingernails, so in the same way, the body of the wasp-like demon Hiranyakasipu has been ripped apart by the wonderful pointed nails on your beautiful lotus hands. Jai Narasimhadev. Chalayasi vikramane balimadbhuta vamana Padanakha nirajanita jana pavana Kesavadhrita vamana rupa Jai Jagadish Hare. O Keshav, O Lord of the universe, O Lord Hari, who have assumed the form of a dwarf Brahman, all glories to you. O wonderful dwarf, by your massive step, you defew King Bali, and by the Ganges water that has emerged from the nail of your lotus feet, you deliver all living beings within this world. Jai Vamandev ki Jai. Kshatriya Rudhira Mae Jagadapagat Papam Snapayasi Payasi Samita Bhavatapam Kesavadhrita Bhrigupati Rupa Jai Jagadish Hare. O Kesav, O Lord of the universe, O Lord Hari, who have assumed the form of Bhrigupati Parsuram, all glories to you. You bathe the earth in the rivers of blood from the bodies of the demonic Kshatriya you have slain. In this way, you wash away the sins of the world and give relief to those who suffer in material existence. Vitarasi dikchurane dikpati kamaniyam Dasamukha mali balim ramaniyam Kesavadhrita rama sarira Jai Jagadish Hare. O Kesav, O Lord of the universe, O Lord Hari, who have assumed the form of Ramchandra, all glories to you. In the battle of Lanka, you destroy the 10-headed demon Ravan and distribute his heads as a delightful offering to the presiding deities of the 10 directions, a feat long desired by them all, whom the monster had much harassed. Jai Shri Ram. Vahasi vapusi visade vasanam jaladabham Halahati bhiti milita yamunabham Kesavadhrita haladhara rupa Jai Jagadish Hare. O Kesav, O Lord of the universe, O Lord Hari, who have assumed the form of a plough-wielding Balram, all glories to you. On your brilliant white body, you wear garments colored like a fresh rain cloud, and the river Yamuna, whom you frighten with the blows of your plows. Jai Haldarupa ki Jai. Nindasi yagya vidheraha shruti jatam Sadaya hedaya darsita pasughatam Kesavadhrita buddha sarira Jai Jagadish Hare. O Kesav, O Lord of the universe, O Lord Hari, who have assumed the form of Buddha, all glories to you. Your heart, filled with compassion, you decry animal slaughters performed according to the scriptural rules of Vedic sacrifice. Mlecha nivaha nidhane kalayasi karvalam Dhumaketumiva kimapi karalam Kesavadhrita kalki sarira Jai Jagadish Hare. O Kesav, O Lord of the universe, O Lord Hari, who have assumed the form of Kalki, all glories to you. Like a comet bearing an indescribably terrifying sword, you annihilate the wicked barbarian kings at the end of Kali Yuga. Shri Jaya Deva Kaveridam Uditam Udaram Shrusukhadam Subhadam Bhavasaram Kesavadhrita Dasavidharupa Jai Jagadisha Hari. Okay, so, O Lord of the universe, O Lord Hari, who have assumed these 10 different incarnations, all glories to you. O reader, please hear this most excellent hymn by the poet Jayadev, for it bestows happiness and good fortune and is the best thing in this dark world. So now we'll see, like, we have quotes, formulas, so you can see that how he has summarized this all 10 incarnation in just two words. Like Vedanudharati, just by these 2 words, he has described the form of Matsya. Vedanudharate jaganti vahate bhugolam udbhibrate Datyam dharayate valim chalayate chhatrachayam kurvate Polastyam jayate halam pralayate karunyam atanvate Mlechan murchayate dasakriti krite Krishnaya tubhyam namah Mlechan murchayate dasakriti krite Krishnaya tubhyam namah Mlechan murchayate dasakriti krite Krishnaya tubhyam namah. O Lord Krishna, I offer my obeisances unto you who incarnate in these 10 forms. In the form of Matsya, you rescue the Vedas. As Kurma, you bear mountain Mandara on your back. As Varaha, you lift the earth on your tusk. As Narsimha, you tear open the chest of demon Hiranyakasipu. As Vaman, you trick King Bali. As Parsuram, you slay all the wicked Kshatriyas. As Ramchandra, you defeat Ravana, the son of Pulastya. As Balram, you carry a plow. As Lord Buddha, you show compassion toward all. And as Kalki, you kill the mlechas. Jai Shri Jayadev Goswami ki Jai, Dasavatar Strot ki Jai. So we can see how Lord Krishna takes different forms for his different incarnation, and for as we know from the Bhagavatam, like the second canto, first canto, second chapter, verse number 34, where it says like how he reclaims the souls by taking this different incarnation. So we are so grateful to Jayadev Goswami for summarizing everything in this song, and then we can meditate every day. And as the song says in the Jayadev Goswami proclaims that it bestows the happiness and good fortune, and it's the best thing in this dark world. So definitely the word is so dark. Dark is also significance of the ignorance, and that's what Acharya points out. Like the main basis in this word is ignorance of Krishna, and that's what this the Acharyas, they specifically came to remove that darkness. And we are so lucky that we have access to this songs which comes from the spiritual world and describe the activities of the Krishna and his different incarnation. Hare Krishna. So let's move on to the if anyone has anything to share or in the comments, please feel free to please don't hesitate to just jump in. It's an open class, and I'd like to hear from all of you. If you have any comments or any questions or anything that you like to add in the discussion, so please jump in anytime. Thank you. Hare Krishna. So we will start with the Bhagavad Gita. Today's the discussion we will take from the chapter 5, Karma Yoga, Action and Krishna Consciousness. So what is my idea is that we will go with the whole text. We will do a chapter a day, that is short form chat. we'll read the whole chapter, and then we'll just zoom in into one particular verse that miraculously will give us the happiness formula. And that's what like everyone is looking in this world. If you see why anyone is working, or what is the purpose of life, to be happy, but it just we have to find out where the real happiness lies. And this Bhagavad Gita is perfect guide um, to the whole humanity, that how we can find actual happiness, and so many other things. So today's focus will be on that, and then let me just share my screen so all of you can follow. So we'll do the same way. We will do the Sanskrit and the English together. So this is chapter 5. All of you can also repeat behind the muted mic. Arjun Uvacha Sannyasam karmanam Krishna punaryogam cha samsasi yat shreya etayorekam tanme bruhi sunishitam. Arjuna said, "O Krishna, first of all, you ask me to renounce work, and then again you recommend work with devotion. Now will you kindly tell me definitely which of the two is more beneficial?" So just to give a little bit background, the previous chapter was chapter 4. So can someone say like what Krishna was trying to describe in chapter 4, and that's why the this question comes. Please, if anyone want to speak something. Chapter 4, where the Krishna ended with the chapter 4.
So, Hare Krishna, the Mukharavinda Prabhu, Prashandas, accept my obeisances. Yeah. With my limited knowledge, I want to share. So, chapter 4, talks about, transcendental knowledge, about the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, right? In that chapter, specifically in the end verses, it talks about how one should act in devotional service, and he should renounce the fruits of his actions, right? And then specifically at the end of the chapter, he talks about, you need knowledge. You need knowledge to slash the doubts, you get in your mind, Arjuna. And he requests Arjuna to, stand and fight. I think that's when Arjuna gets confused, basically. You told me earlier that you asked me to renounce. Now you're asking me to do work with devotion. What should I do? So I think that's my understanding.
Wow, perfect. Thank you so much. You are living Bhagavad Gita. Exactly, you pointed very nicely the both the verses, the 41 and 42, like when she was trying to give the knowledge, and then so that's what Arjuna thinks, that like by knowledge like means like it's inactivity, that you don't have to do any work, and that's what he's telling renounce or sannyas. Here is the what he means is karma sannyas, like to renounce all the activity, but at last he also fight. So the last verse, so that's what recommend work with devotion. So that's what we will. That's what he got confused. Whether it's what does Krishna want to say me? Whether it's so now in the later in this chapter. So don't very surprised will be not. It will reveal like in the next few verses. Krishna will say, Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Sannyasah Karma Yogasya Niyasreya Shakaravubhav Tayostu Karma Sannyasat Karma Yogo Vishishyate. The personality of Godhead replied, the renunciation of work and work in devotion are both good for liberation, but of the two, work in devotional service is better than renunciation of work. So here Krishna is giving definite, like they both are good, but then if you can do work in devotional service, that is more better than renunciation of work, just by knowledge, like thinking that there is no activity that I have to do. And so that's what he says. Geya sanitya sannyasi yona dveshti na kanchati nirdvando hi mahabaho sukham bandhat pramuchyate. One who neither hates nor desires the fruits of his activity is known to be always renounced. Such a person, free from all dualities, easily overcomes material bondage and is completely liberated, O mighty Arjuna. Sankhya yoga prithak bala pravadanti na panditaha ekam apya asthita samyak ubhayor vindate phalam Only the ignorant speak of devotional service, karma yoga, as being different from the analytical study of the material world, Sankhya. Those who are actually learned say that he who applies himself well to one of this path achieve the results of both. Yat Sankhye prapyate sthanam tad yogairapi gamyate ekam sankhyam cha yogam cha yah pasyati sapashyati. One who knows that the position reached by means of analytical study can also be attained by devotional service, and who therefore sees analytical study and devotional service to be on the same level, says things as they are. Sanyasastu mahabaho dukham aptum ayogata yoga yukto munir brahma na chirena digachati. Merely renouncing all activities, yet not engaging in the devotional service of the Lord, cannot make one happy. But a thoughtful person engaged in devotional service can achieve the supreme without delay. So here he gives much more definite, like he just trying to decipher what he means that acting in devotional service, and he's giving more and more conclusive answers to Arjuna. But a thoughtful person engaged in devotional service can achieve the supreme without delay. So is just like, is Krishna is not saying that you don't work. He's just saying that for working, but with what consciousness you're working, that kind of define whether you're working with attachment or you're working with detached mind. So what he's trying to refer here is like working but with the detached mind, like not trying to like in the previous verse we saw that uh, neither hates nor desires the fruits of his activity, and free from all duality, easily overcome. Like most of the time, like person like me, we all become very happy when we get success and become morose when we have some setbacks. But then what Krishna is saying, that we have to free from this duality and do just as a service, like whatever we do in a service mood to Lord Krishna, to and then when we do in that activity doesn't bind us. And now he's going more like, how does that person work? One who works in devotion, who is pure soul, and who control his mind and senses is dear to everyone, and everyone is dear to him. Though always working, such a man is never entangled. So that's what he's saying, that he will not get entangled if someone is one who works in devotion and who is pure soul and who controls his mind and senses is dear to everyone, and everyone is dear to him. Naiva kinchit karomiti yukto manyet tattvavid pashyan shridman sprishan jigran ashnan gachan swapan swashan pralapan vishrijan grihinan unmishan nimishan api indriyan indriyathesu vartanta iti dharayan. A person in the divine consciousness, although engaged in seeing, hearing, touching, smelling, eating, moving about, sleeping, and breathing, always knows within himself that he actually does nothing at all. Because while speaking, evacuating, receiving, or opening or closing his eyes, he always knows that only the material senses are engaged with their objects and that he is aloof from them. ब्रह्मणाधाय कर्माणि संगम त्यक्त्वा करोति यः लिप्यतेन स पापेन पद्मपत्रम् इवाम्भसा. One who performs his duty without attachment, surrendering the results unto the Supreme Lord, is unaffected by sinful action, as the lotus leaf is untouched by water. Kayena manasa buddhya kevaler indriyarapi yogina karma kurvanti sangam tyaktvatma suddhaye. The yogis abandoning attachment act with body, mind, intelligence, and even with the senses only for the purpose of purification. So why, if some self-life soul, why if it all is working, is just working for the purification. Yukta karma phala taktva santi mapnoti naishtakim ayukta kama karena phale sakto nibadhyate. The steadily devoted soul attains unadulterated peace because he offers the results of all activities to me, whereas a person who is not in union with the divine, who is greedy for the fruits of his labor, becomes entangled. Sarvakarmani manasa sanyasyaste sukham vasi navadvare pure dehi naiva kuruvan nakarayan. When the embodied living being controls his nature and mentally renounces all actions, he resides happily in the city of nine gates, the material body, neither working nor causing work to be done. न कर्तृत्वं न कर्माणि लोकस्य सृजति प्रभु न कर्मफल संयोगम स्वभावस्तु प्रवर्तते. The embodied spirit, master of the body of his body, does not create activities, nor does he induce people to act, nor does he create the fruits of action. All this is enacted by the modes of material nature. न दत्ते कस्यचित् पापं न चैव सुकृतं विभु अज्ञानेनावृतं ज्ञानं तेन मुह्यन्ति जन्तवः. Nor does the Supreme Lord assumes anyone's sinful or pious activities. Embodied beings, however, are bewildered because of the ignorance which covers their real knowledge. So it's a very nice flow. Lord Krishna is describing that how the soul is how the everything like soul desires, and then soul desires, and Krishna as a super soul, he is the one who sanctions, like it says, right? The soul, the man proposes and God disposes. So it's not, and he's telling that how he fulfills through the material nature. So there's a cycle that has been described here, like how. So it's not that the just soul is doing everything. Like soul is for any activity. Is there is a cycle that there are much more than doer. That soul is not the everything, but definitely what is the problem whole here is that the ignorance that covers his knowledge, the bewildered because of ignorance which covers the real knowledge, he desires something that is not good for him. And Krishna, again, as we know that cycle, as I told, like he did desire, and Supreme Krishna as a super soul fulfill that desire through the material nature. So and that's what the 13 verse says, that he or the 14 where he was saying that all this is enacted by the modes of material nature. So there is a cycle that is kind of happening, and sometimes it's so the main thing that Krishna has tell is ignorance, and we have to work on that ignorance, and that's why we are reading Bhagavad Gita here together, so that we can get that real knowledge, and we desire something that is beneficial for our soul. We do activity that is beneficial to our soul, rather than binding us more and more, like when we take any electronic movement, any electronic, right? So what we do first, like now like you start understanding about that by reading the manual, or nowadays we just kind of just YouTube, first thing we just YouTube about that item, okay, how to operate that item. One thing you can do is like you yourself can do different experiment and try to find out how it works, but the more wiser thing will be, or that to understand one who has made these things and understand from him. So similarly, the Bhagavad Gita is a guidebook for all humanity. When we come in this material world, how we can perfect our life. First of all, who am I, and who am I, who is Krishna, and what is my relationship, or who is Krishna, who is God, and who is and what is my relationship with him, and what is the purpose of my coming in this material world. It's just so that I kind of earn and have a big bank balance, and I have big, like 401k, or I have big the home, and I had like kids, and I grow old, and then one day I die, or maybe a little bit more, maybe help the society maybe through some philanthropic work, and then so that my name and fame continues after generation and generation, or like be a nationalist. So what is the aim, is that's all get clarified in Bhagavad Gita, that and the first answer is, who am I? I am the soul. I am the soul which is part and parcel of Krishna, and who is Krishna? He is the supreme God from whom everything emanated. Janmadhyasya yata, like the Brahma Sutra says, like from whom everything emanated, and who is Sarva Karan Karanam, who is the reason for Karan for everyone's existence, and what is my relationship with him, like, and I am servant. Jiv Krishna Das e Vishwas Koroloto or Dukhonai. Like if I have just this firm faith that I am the servant of God million times removed, then there will be no unhappiness. And what is my purpose? Purpose is definitely to purify myself. That's what in this verses we saw, that purify myself. And how do we purify? By performing various austerities, by performing various practices, the yogic practices. And what kind of yogic practices, then someone may ask, is that like something that I go to the in the summer and surround myself with all the heat, or like in the cold winter I go to the river and dig myself, or like I just what kind of austerity is mentioned? Definitely that kind of all yogic austerities are mentioned in the or like silence. But what is most practical in this age that we live, which is called Kali Yuga, the age of Kali, is the Sankirtan Yajna, or the chanting of holy name of the Krishna. And how do we know that? We know it from the Shastra. Then when we know that Hare Nam, Hare Nam, Hare Nam Eva Kevalam Kalau Nasteva 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 Gatiranyatha. In this age of Kali and darkness, there is no better way, there is no better way, there is no better way than chanting the holy name of the Lord, and and sharing this knowledge with others. So that is the best austerity, and that is the best sankir, best yajna that we can do in this Kali Yuga, by performing. And so that's what we will so that is in a nutshell. Let's get back to the again text of the Bhagavad Gita. Jnanena tu tadajnanam yesham nasitam tesham adityavajnanam prakasayati tatparam. When, however, one is enlightened with the knowledge by which nescience is destroyed, then his knowledge reveals everything as the sun lights up everything in the daytime. Such a wonderful analogy Krishna gives, that when the suns come up, when the sun comes, then everything in the daytime gets revealed. Similarly, when the knowledge, when we get the knowledge which is given in these books, and when we realize that reveals us everything. Tad buddhyas tad atmanas tannishthas tad parayana kachantiya punaravrittim jnana nirdhuta kalmasha. When one's intelligence, mind, faith, and refuge are all fixed in the Supreme, then one becomes fully cleansed of misgivings through complete knowledge, and thus proceeds straight on the path of liberation. And then what is the vision of such a person who advance in the path of liberation? Does he discriminate? No. Let's see. Vidya vinay sampanne brahmane gavihastani suni chaiva swapake cha pandita samadarsina. The humble sage, by virtue of true knowledge, sees with equal vision a learned and gentle Brahman, a cow, an elephant, a dog, and a dog-eater outcast. So he has like a very he sees them all with equal vision. He doesn't discriminate, like what we see in the current modern day, that what is praja? Like you might have heard this word praja. Praja means which is means which is born in the nation. And if you see that nowadays countries, they just think that only the man, or like the living human beings are only the praja, and they disregard all other animals like poor cow and everything. In this, you can see that they're not giving any protection to all the other animals, because they think that only praja is the human being. But what Bhagavad Gita and all this says, that no, everyone has soul, and we should take care of all even animals, even all the living entity, because they are all having spark, part and parcel of Krishna. And that is the actual meaning of that's what a person who's advanced in the spiritual knowledge sees everyone with equal vision. For what about, like, if you see there's so much fight even happening in this material world, just because between black and white, or with different races, or with different countries. So these all are superficial, but when we understand Bhagavad Gita, we find out that okay, maybe in this life I born is in some country, so I'm saying that I shout for that countries, and then and the next time I may born in some other countries, and then I'll start shouting for that. Shouting in the sense like I'll tell that okay, my country should win for these games, or this, that, whatever. But actually we have to come out of all these cycles and of birth and death, and that's what this all verses will say next. Ihartar jita sargo yesam samne sthitam mana nirdosam hi samam brahma tasmat brahmani te sthita. Those whose minds are established in sameness and equanimity have already conquered the condition of birth and death. So if saying whose minds are established in sameness and equanimity have already conquered the condition of birth and death, they are flawless like Brahman, and thus they are already situated in Brahman. Na prahishet priyam prapya no dvijet prapya cha priyam sthir buddhi rasam mudho brahmavid brahmani stitha. A person who neither rejoices upon achieving something pleasant nor lament upon obtaining something unpleasant, who is self-intelligent, who is unbewildered, and who knows the science of God is already situated in transcendence. So it's such a wonderful qualities that we should all strive to develop as we grow in our Krishna conscious journey. Bhayasparse vasattatma vindyati atmani yat sukham sa brahma yoga yuktatma sukham akshayam ashnute. Such a liberated person is not attracted to material sense pleasure, but is always in trance, enjoying the pleasure within. In this way, the self-realized person enjoys unlimited happiness, for he concentrates on the Supreme. Yehi samsparsaja bhoga dukhayonaya evate adya antavantah kaunteya na tesu ramate buddha. An intelligent person does not take part in the source of misery which are due to contact with the material senses. O son of Kunti, such pleasures have a beginning and end, so the wise man does not delight in them. Wow, such an amazing verse. We'll go more deeper into this and the next verse once we finish all the text. Saknoti hai vaya sodhum praksarira vimokshanat kama krododbhavam vegam sa yukta sa sukhi nara. Before giving up the present body, if one is able to tolerate the urges of material senses and check the force of desire and anger, is well situated and is happy in this world. So that's what I was telling in the beginning, that this is the happiness formula that Krishna says, that how you become happy by tolerating the urge or indulging in the urge. No, he says that we should tolerate the urge, not the indulging in the urge. And there are various urges, and we will go in details in the once we go through all the verses. Yo anta sukho antar arama stathantar jyotir evaya sa yogi brahma nirvanam brahma bhuto digachati. One whose happiness is within, who is active and rejoices within, and whose aim is inward, is actually the perfect mystic. He is liberated in the Supreme, and ultimately he attains the Supreme. Labhante brahma nirvanam risaya china kalmasa chinna dvedha yatatmana sarva bhuta hiterata. Those who are beyond the dualities that arise from doubts, whose minds are engaged within, who are always busy working for the welfare of all living beings, and who are free from all sins, achieve liberation in the Supreme. Kama krodha vimuktanam yatinam yatachetasam abhito brahma nirvanam vartate viditatmanam. Those who are free from anger and all material desires, who are self-realized, self-disciplined, and constantly endeavoring for perfection, are assured of liberation in the Supreme in the very near future. Isparsan kritva bahir bahayam chakshushaivantare bhruvu pranapano samo kritva nasyabhyantare charino yatendriya mano buddhir munir moksha parayana vikatiksha bhaya krodho yaham sada mukta evasa. Setting out all external sense objects, keeping the eyes and vision concentrated between the two eyebrows, suspending the inward and outward breaths within the nostrils, and thus controlling the mind, senses, and intelligence, the transcendentalist aiming at liberation becomes free from desire, fear, and anger. One who is always in this state is certainly liberated. Bhuktaram yagyatapasam sarvaloke maheshwaram sohidam sarvabhutanam dhyatva mam santim rikshati. A person in full consciousness of me, knowing me to be the ultimate beneficiary of all sacrifices and austerities, the supreme lord of all planets and demigods, and the benefactor and well-wisher of all living entities, attains peace from the pangs of material miseries. Om Tat Sat. So here ends chapter 5, and congratulations all of you to today doing the chapter 5 with me here, and there's so many glories are given just by hearing the chapter of Bhagavad Gita. So I'm happy that we all could do together here. So if anything else done or not, but this is the best thing we did, that we could read the whole chapter together. So yeah, before that we go through the next thing, I like to go deeper into some of the verses. But if anyone has any comment, reflection, question, please you can ask now, or anything if you want to say. We'll move ahead for our discussion. So yeah, if no one has anything comment, so we can let's move to the section. So basically, yeah, this fifth chapter is like working in Krishna consciousness. It's very practical. 1 minute. Okay, perfect. So basically, let's. I wanted to go deeper into these two verses, text 22 and text 23. So let's go verse text 22. ये हि संस्पर्शजा भोगा दुःखयोनैव एव ते आद्यन्तवन्त कौन्तेया न तेषु रमते बुधा. Ye, those, he, certainly, samsparsaja, by contact with the material senses. Samsparsaja, ja means by contact with the material senses. Bhoga, enjoyment. Dukh, distress. Yoneha, sources of. Ev, certainly. Te, they are. Adi, beginning. Ant, end. Vantah, subject to. Kaunteya, O son of Kunti. Na, never. Tesu, in those. Ramate, takes delights. Buddha, the intelligent person.
Prabhuji, are you sharing the screen, Mukharavinda Prabhu?
Oh, sorry. Thanks. Thank you so much. Let me see on the screen. Yeah. So let's do again. Ye, those, he, certainly, samsparsaja, by contact with the material senses. Bhoga, enjoyment. Dukh, distress. Yonaya, sources of. Ev, certainly. Te, they are. Adi, beginning. Ant, end. Vantah, subject to. Kaunteya, O son of Kunti. Na, never. Tesu, in those. Ramate, takes delight. Bodha, the intelligent person. So I think we all become intelligent person and then see what we should not do in this first. An intelligent person does not take part in the sources of misery. Wow. So very Krishna is emphatically telling us sources of misery, which are due to contact with the material senses. O son of Kunti, such pleasures have a beginning and end, and so the wise man does not delight in them. Such a pleasures have a beginning and end. So I'm sure you might have seen so many advertisements like open the bottle of happiness. I don't know how many of you have seen that advertisement, and it says that okay, just if you open the bottle and drink, and that's what they mean, I believe so, that if you open drink, you'll get all the happiness, or the Ghirardelli chocolates. So you might be seeing that the moments of pleasure, what unlimited pleasures. So everyone is trying to say that like if you engage in this activity, you'll get the unlimited pleasure. Or like even if you take some examples of people, those who are accustomed for having like smoking or like drinking or anything like this, it might be it's this pleasures have like beginning and end, like you can very definitely say. Or any other things, like someone can give some more examples which has pleasures have beginning and end.
Travel trips,
right? Travel trips, yeah. Like if you see, if you go to any place, like if you go to the Europe, then they will say that, oh, the next destination is Honolulu, and Honolulu, if you go, the next destination is France. So they will just keep you rotating, and then and you think that okay, you will get happiness by being in there. And actually, even Bhagavad Gita verse chapter 9 says that yanti deva vrata devan, yeah, pitri nanti pitri vrata bhutani yanti bhuteja yanti madhya jinopima. So yeah, and not only in this universe is saying that even some people even want to go to different planets, Pitri in Pitri Loka, they want to go to the planets of demigods. So you can still go to all these places, but what is the use of this going? This is just like we're wandering, and with so again, let me again correct myself. So for what purpose we are going? We can definitely go to all the places. We can have all the trips for meeting devotees or to spread Krishna consciousness. So it's all consciousness. That's what this chapter, when we started, like when we do some activity, what is our consciousness? And if the consciousness is what defined. So now again, someone may ask like, okay, so should we not go to some places at all? Like, is that like totally banned? No, we can go, but it's not like we go for the thinking that this will give me happiness. We just go, maybe it's like as a part of our, maybe like yearly we go and then we take some break and then to rejuvenate ourselves in Krishna consciousness. But we know that, okay, what is the core of my life is Krishna consciousness, and everything that supports that, that's why I'm doing. Rather than thinking that with the mind that, okay, by going this place will make me happy. So they say like it's just different in difference in consciousness. Thank you so much, Ruchi Mataji, for a wonderful example. Any other examples? Someone comes in mind which has beginning and end.
Movies, sports.
Movie, sports. Thank you. Yeah, that's true. And sorry, what did you say, Ruchi Mataji?
I said work or kids. Sometimes we get so absorbed in raising kids and we center our life and devote completely to it. But that also has a beginning and an end, in the sense like the kids will leave home one day, right?
Yeah, exactly. And this, so definitely, as I'm telling that, but if we know the purpose why we are raising them, and that's why Krishna consciousness is such a complete life. Like it's not like just one-sided that we think that, okay, we have to just get out of this world, like we know how to have any connection. But that was his Krishna consciousness, to connect. If you see yoga is a Sanskrit word, yuj. Yuj means which comes from yuj. Yuj means to connect. So if we have everything, we can have like our kids, we can have like so many kids or whatever kids, but if you just connect everything, okay, I'm raising my kids so as a duty to Krishna, to raise them in Krishna consciousness, then everything can have their own meanings. Otherwise, otherwise it may just become, our pleasure source of, okay, yeah, I wanted my happiness, that's why I want to have kids. Or then if you have that kind of consciousness, then there will be also end that when they leave, then you'll have that kind of thinking that when they left, then they will have that pain also. But if you see that no, somehow by Krishna's arrangement, and that's what, when we understand this all philosophy, it says in Bhagavatam 3rd canto 31st chapter, Karmana deva netrena jantu dehopapatte striya reta kanashraya. So I'm not remembering the whole verse, but it says that how by the divine arrangement, by the supervision of the devas, actually the souls enters into the womb. And there is a purpose, and what is the purpose is to actually why this whole material world is there. And that's what the first question I was asking, like many times we don't know also what is the why we came to this material world. So this world is to just facilitate our desire, and the best way is to purify our desire to the right desires by learning from Bhagavad Gita, and that's what we should try to impart to our next generation or our kids, and then you'll find that is much more fulfilling. Otherwise it's like beginning and end. Like if we start keeping us as center, then it's like beginning and end. Because definitely or any relationship, it just has beginning and end. If we just take in that context, that okay, just I involve in some relationship because it's for my happiness. And that's what we see in the modern world. As soon as the like some two people connect each other, and then as long as they have the happiness, they can satisfy each other's senses, they are good and well together. But as soon as there is some discrepancies, there is immediate separation. And that's what Prabhupada says in this that's what we can see in this material world happening. So thank you so much for wonderful examples. So let's go back to our verse. So let's again read the translation. An intelligent person does not take part in the source of miseries which are due to contact with the material senses. O son of Kunti, such pleasures have a beginning and end. So the wise man does not delight in them. So now our mind should inquire, hey, is there any pleasure that doesn't have beginning and does not have any end? That means like it's unlimited. Can I have such pleasures? Is there any such pleasure exist? So it's not like Bhagavad Gita just leaving us in, just hanging. Okay, now you neti, now nothing is there. You just don't attach yourself because with any pleasures in this world, because they all have beginning and end. But it gives us the solution. No, there are practices, like there are happiness that doesn't have, like when we engage ourselves in Krishna consciousness, or this, and I was telling in this age, specifically in chanting, doing service, selfless service, and reading Bhagavad Gita and the Vedic wisdom. These all are so there are so many activities spiritual, like going to the temple, worshipping the deities, taking some garlands, making garlands for the deities, cooking for the deities, offering the bhogas to deities, raising a Krishna conscious children, raising helping our community to develop Krishna consciousness by sharing this knowledge of Bhagavad Gita. There's so many activities that is like Anandam Buddhi Vardhanam. It's like Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says that is just keep on increasing. There is no end. There is no satiation. Like you can never find in time like, okay, I have done enough chanting. Like you always want to do more chanting. You always want to do associate more with devotees. You always want to hear more. And that is the steps. Again, it may not be at the beginning, but as because it says in the scriptures, like because in the beginning we are conditioned like a jaundice person, like a person who has jaundice. Even though if you go give him the sugar cane juice, it feels him so terrible. It's not that sugar candy is not sweet, but it's just because he has disease. And at the same time, we have also disease of this avidya or ignorance. And once by doing this sadhana bhakti or the methods, the yoga practices that we do with determination, we will step by step gradually move in this path. So let's just go to the purport, the wonderful purport of Srila Prabhupada in this chapter, in this verse. Material sense pleasure are due to the contact of material senses, which are all temporary because the body itself is temporary. A liberated soul is not interested in anything which is temporary. Knowing well the joys of transcendental pleasures, how can a liberated soul agree to enjoy false pleasure? In the Padma Puran it is said, Ramante yogino anante satyanande chidatmani iti rama padenaso param brahma vidhiyate. The mystic derive unlimited transcendental pleasure from the absolute truth, and therefore the supreme absolute truth, the personality of God, he is also known as Rama. So one meaning of Rama is unlimited pleasure, and that's what transcendentalists enjoys. In the Srimad Bhagavatam also 5.5.1, that means 5th canto, 5th chapter, verse number 1st, it is said, Nayam deho deha bhajam niloke kashtan kaman arhate vidbhujamye tapo divyam putraka yena sattvam suddhaye dyasmat brahma saukhyam tvanantam. My dear sons, there is no reason to labor very hard for sense pleasure while in this human form of life. Such pleasures are available to the stool eaters, hogs. Rather, you should undergo penances in this life by which your existence will be purified, and as a result, you will be able to enjoy unlimited transcendental bliss. So, wow, when in this contrast, like if you see what is the modern propaganda, like if you just have this new version of the phone, or if you are just this new gadgets, or if you are just this strip, or this, if you're this, then you'll become happy. Or if you just open this bottle, you'll be happy. But what our scriptures are saying, our scriptures are pointing right away, right directly that, hey, these pleasures are available to the stool eaters like hogs. Whatever the sense pleasures are there. So just don't go for them. Because even that, like we know that there are 8.4 million species of life, and everyone will get that happiness that is from the sense pleasure. But what the animals and others, they can't think what is the purpose of my life. They can't worship the Krishna directly in the way that he has mentioned in the Patram Puspam Phalam Toyam Yomi Bhaktya Yachati Tadam Bhakto Pretam Ashtami Prayatatmana. And also we know that there is a cycle of birth evolution is going on. They have like how whatever it's like a birth and death, and actually they have to again they will evolve as a human form, but hopefully if they don't waste their human form, they will get liberated. Otherwise they might have to again take form of the animals or lower species of life. So what is the solution? You should undergo penances in this life by which your existence will be purified. So what kind of penances? So let me just again ask this question. Should we just go like to some forest and surround ourselves with the fire, or like in the water, or like you just walk to the Himalayas? And so what kind of penances? Yeah, definitely that is all bona fide penances, but it may not be possible in this age. In this age, the best penances we can have is Sankirtan or the Tapasya, or we can chant Lord's holy name. We can get up early in the morning, and like Prabhupada says in one of the purport, just getting up in the morning, early in the morning, and taking bath itself is a big tapasya in this Kali Yuga. If we can do that, you will find that your existence will be purified by doing that. Because why you're doing that? Even so many people, those who are in the different businesses, they also get up at 6 a.m. I know many people, they also get up, they get ready. But what is their purpose? Their purpose is not to purify themselves. Their purpose is to get more entangled. But if you get up for the purpose that, no, I want to give the best time. The best time in our day is the Brahma Muhurta time, where the mode of goodness is prevalent in the environment. And I get up so that I'm getting up early for the pleasure of Krishna, so that I can give my best chanting. I can best read. I can best concentrate. So that whole consciousness is kind of a tapasya, and that will purify us. Another form of tapasya is also like giving this knowledge to other people. That's what like Lord Shiva says to the in the Sati tapyante lokatapena sadhava prayasojana paramaradhana tadhi lok samachana. Like the best form of the tapasya is also giving this knowledge to other people. That's what he's telling. So because that involves that we have to talk with people, we have to share this knowledge with other people. So these are kind of some practical tapasya we can do in this life. And like coming to the class, and thank you so much for all of you to dedicate your time, like this 1.5 hour, blocking your time, such important prime time this evening, for hearing Krishna Katha, for engaging in the Krishna Katha. So that is such a wonderful activity that all of you are doing. So this is a form of tapasya that has been mentioned here. And I congratulate all of you to be doing that tapasya. So therefore, let's come to the purport. Therefore, those who are true yogis or learned transcendentalists are not attracted by sense pleasure, which are cause of continuous material existence. The more one is addicted to material pleasure, the more he is entrapped by material miseries. So the more one is addicted to material pleasure, the more is entrapped by material miseries. And I think this doesn't need explanation. We if we just a little bit introspect in our life, or people or the lives of surrounded us, we can find this word to be so true. So this also doesn't mean that, okay, just like a switch on and off, like today itself I can decide that, okay, I'm not going to do material pleasure as completely. It usually happens in step by steps. Like we should do any steps and that is the best thing. Like as far as possible, we should try to avoid, and we should consciously and try to replace it with more Krishna conscious activity. The more we do more positive things, automatically the negative things will go away. So this is this verse, very nice verse, that says what we should not delight. And very nicely we can always put this beginning and end thing. And so Hare Krishna. So any questions, any comments before we move to the next verse? We still have 20 minutes, so we'll take the next verse. But before that, I'd like to hear from all of you. If you have any questions, any comments, reflection, to our wonderful audience.
I would say, Mukharavinda Prabhu, thank you for inspiring us. It's been a great class so far. Thank you for keeping us hooked, by reading the verses and explaining it. So I really love the one that you recently explained, the beginning and end. Yeah, the purport was also very nice, which talks about the material senses itself are temporary. So what is the point in engaging them and being a servant to them, like serving them? Rather engage in which is permanent, the transcendental, so supreme. So thank you, Ravi. That was really good. I like that point you mentioned.
Thank you, Hare Krishna. That's very wonderful point. Yeah, temporary. Nice. Anyone else would like to say something? So then, actually, there's one very nice verse that says that Kama Dinam Katina Kathita Palita Durnidesha Stesham Jata Maina Karuna Natrapa Nopashanti Utsrijata Natha Yadupate Sampratam Labda Buddhis Tvam Ayata Saranam Abhayam Mam Niyukshvatmadase. So this verse from our scripture says that Kama Dinam, Kama means like different sense enjoyments. Kama Dinam Katina Kathita, for how long and how many ways I am being their servant. How many, like from how many lifetime I'm serving them, and they never give me time off. At least if you see here, you work for some, they have, at least you have some vacations, and you but the senses are like 24/7. They like persons whose senses are not controlled, they keep dictating. I remember like in college days, like people used to go like midnight to, they will go to the whatnot, like they'll go to railway station because that is the only place where you'll get the tea. So and they derive so much sense, place so much, joy, pride, that, oh no, I had to go at midnight to to take the tea there, and do whatnot. I'm just giving one example. So but they're not able to see that how their senses are kind of controlling them, to have that kind of things, that, oh no, I had to go at midnight for the and what Bhagavad Gita says, yanisa sarva bhutanam tasyam jagrati sayami. Like for a night, what is the day? A day for the materialistic person is the night for the self-realized soul, and what is the day for the self-realized soul is the night for. So you can see that all these activities people do in the midnight, actually that is the time that we should take rest. Yeah, even like if you see, our body is so much harmonized with the nature that when everything shuts down, the sun goes down, it should wind down, and then we should take rest, and we should get up as the sun's moving up, and it's much more in the natural cycle and rhythm. But people, those who are in mode of ignorance and passion, they do exactly opposite. And that's what Bhagavad Gita, if we read in second chapter, it very nicely points out. And that's what I was trying to say, that how Bhagavad Gita kind of keep telling us such very simple truth that is always time tested. And if you take shelter of Bhagavad Gita, we'll never go wrong in our life, and we'll have like more and more realizations. It's a lifetime of learning, definitely I can say, and we realize more and more. This verses becomes alive as we take them seriously in our life. Hare Krishna. Anything else? Someone?
Hare Krishna, Mukharavinda Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Yes, Prabhupada.
Hare
Very
Krishna.
nice class, a very nice explanation, Prabhu. I was just reminded of, the first 4 verses of Nectar of Instruction, wherein the third and fourth verse, Rupa Goswami is saying how in the, we can engage ourselves. There are so many activities we can do, offer prasadam, take prasadam, give gifts, receive gifts, right? Sravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu, so many activities in devotional service. We fully engage ourselves, then our mind, will not hanker for the other material things, because it will keep us really busy.
Wow.
Throughout the day.
Wow, that is such a powerful. Thank you, Prabhu. Yeah, I agree. That's why I was wondering, like I was saying that Krishna is not leaving us that, okay, you don't, but there's so many other things, positive things we can engage, as Ashramada Prabhu was pointing for a verse from Nectar of Instruction. Dadati prati grenati guhyamakyati prichati bhunti bhojayate chaiva sadvida priti lakshanam. So Acharya says this 6 kind of holy association I want in my life, like giving gift in charity, accepting gift, revealing one's mind in confidence, and hearing from others also, and having together the prasadam or food together, and feeding and taking together. So there's so many things we can do in Krishna consciousness that will keep us in positive track.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, thank you. So perfect. So let's go to the next verse. That is also in the same series, and I like it very much, because that says, like, where Krishna directly says that Sukhi Nara, if you want to be happy human being, and I'm sure like everyone of us want to be happy human being, but it's just we are searching, like I'm searching in the wrong place, that happiness, and trying to see the happiness in the temporary things. That's what the previous verse pointed out. But if I find where I can find that verse, where is the real happiness? So let's see. Saknoti heva yah sodhum prak sarira vimokshanat kama krododbhavam vegam sa yukta sa sukhi nara. Saknoti is able, in the present body, yah, one who, sodhum, to tolerate, prak, before, sarira, the body, vimokshanat, giving up, kam, desire, krodh, anger, udbhavam, generated from, vegam, urges, sa, he, yukta, in trance, sa, he, sukhi, happy, nara, human being. Translation: before giving up this present body, so Krishna has given up like a long time, like just at least before present body, but the catch is that no one knows that when we'll leave this world, right? Not anyone can say that when you will leave this world. So in other way, Krishna is saying that, yeah, better you take this serious right away. Whenever you can take. If one is able to tolerate the urges of the material senses, tolerate the urges of the material senses. So is there any urges of the material senses? Is that question? Let me just check with the audience here. Is there any urges have you seen of the material senses? At least I can say that when I feel hungry, I get really hungry. I can't just control that one. I definitely can say. Anyone else can see that urges?
Eating, blaspheming, or talking, gossiping about.
Oh yeah, that is a big big part of gossiping. Like all these magazines and everything, you'll find that fill of that, and then mind want to just read. Like I remember, like whenever I go to this safe or anything, they in the counter near the where the checkout, they'll put especially these magazines with where the nice headlines are there, where all kinds of nasty things are there, so that people can attracted to that the topics. And I just see that how they put the everything in the like how the current media and the whole atmosphere is surcharged with this, that they want us to do something, and we're constantly getting bombarded. But smartphone is another great example. You'll find so many pops-ups, so many pop-up, or like so many advertisement in the social media, TV, this, that. They just urge us to do so many things that even though if you don't need, they want you to take that. So there's so many urges. And so that is urges of the material senses. And material senses, sorry? Sleep, yeah, that is true. Sleep is another urge. But again, it's more what I will say, like excessive sleep, like more than what we need our body. Like we definitely had to take sleep. As long as you're a common person, we need definitely sleeps of 6 to 8 hours. But yeah, more than that, it's like some people take 10, 11, 12 hours. I remember that again from college days, like people used to take pride in like sleeping whole 24 hours sometime. I remember that, okay, the competition, who can sleep long, or like say, oh, I slept for 24 hours, like says with such a pride. Who can long sleep, or who can anyway, all these things are also there. But thank you, Mataji, that's a good point. Excessive sleep. Tolerate the urges of material senses and checks the force of desire and anger. Wow, that's a big one. Take the force of desire and anger. I'm sure multi-volume books can be written about this. At least in my own life, I can see that there's so much anger for the small things can come. And especially I remember like before I got introduced to Krishna consciousness in Bhagavad Gita, I was definitely short tempered. My parents can confirm, and I can say that story I'm still working on, but definitely that I could see much more that how this anger is there for small things, and how that Krishna is saying this thing that urges the force of desire, like, okay, if only I have this next car, or if only if I have this next thing, that is not needed. And definitely we need certain basic things in our life. I'm not, in no way I'm telling, neither Krishna is saying that you should not have anything, but yeah, just whatever you needed for your service. And that's the whole point. Yukta is the word that is Krishna has used in so many places, and we have to just yukta hara viharasya yukta cheshtasya karmasu yukta swapnava bodhasya yogo bhavati dukkha. The 6th chapter, the next chapter, verse number 17, I believe so. Krishna says that you should have yukta. It's not like you can't have eating yukta ahar. You should have yukta vihar. You can also go place, recreate yourself, but do in the balance. Yukta karmasya cheshtasu yukta swapnava bodhasya. Like even sleeping and everything you can have regulated. So what is not is excessive, or like very less. Like someone is very meagerly eating or meagerly sleeping. That is not what is recommended here. So check the force of desire and anger. Is well situated and is happy in this world. And I'm sure everyone will want to be happy in this world. And let's read the purport. Purport: if one wants to make steady progress on the path of self-realization, yes, I want. I'm sure everyone wants to make a steady progress on the path of self-realization. He must try to control the forces of material senses. So I'm sure many of us heard that just do it. right? In this, in like very famous saying, just do it. Or like this kind of, again, I'm saying that how so much is contaminated outside environment, and definitely how much the next generation is getting bombarded. We can just imagine who doesn't have any, like they are much more like for in when we were growing up, we don't have this kind of internet or these things. We are a little bit safeguarded in so many places, but now you can see the education system, everything is so open that they're constantly getting bombarded by all so many different propagandas. uh, it's really tough time for human being, and that's what Kali Yuga is going to be more and more tough um, as it goes. And anyway, let's come back to where I was saying. There are forces of talk, forces of anger, forces of mind, forces of stomach, forces of genitals, and the forces of the tongue. One who is able to control the forces of all these different senses and the mind is called Goswami or Swami. Such Goswamis live strictly controlled lives and forego altogether the forces of senses. Material desires, when unsatiated, generate anger, and thus the mind, eyes, and chest become agitated. Therefore, one must practice to control them before one gives up this material body. One who can do this is understood to be self-realized and is thus happy in the state of self-realization. It is the duty of the transcendentalist to try strenuously to control desire and anger. So we should try. It's not that we are telling, as I was telling, it's not like one day it happened. It may be possible that we might come into desire and anger, but again, is what our attitude, what is our moving forward, fast forward, well, as they say, right? That we have to move forward is okay, and that's what even Krishna says, that he says so many assuring words in Bhagavad Gita itself. Api cheta suduracharo bhajate mam ananya bhav. Due to material nature, or due to sometimes the modes are so strong that we might come in under their control, but it's not like it's just temporary, because we are determined as a spirit soul that no, I'm soul, I'm the Jiva Krishna, I am the servant of Krishna and his devotees, and I will emerge victorious. And there's so many assuring verses in the Bhagavatam that jat Shraddha Mat Kathasu Nirvena Sarvakarmasu Dukha Parityagepi Anishvara. So the verse the verse in the Bhagavatam in the 11th canto that says the same thing, that yeah, sometimes even when we heard so much, even though we have so much faith and everything, but still there might be some temporary fall downs in our life. But we should not get discouraged and thinking that, oh, what is the use of my practicing if I'm still got trapped by this material desire? No, it's possible. So we should have a healthy repentance, Gharian. We should have a healthy repentance and we should move forward. And I'm not the Shastra is not recommending that, okay, no, you just keep on doing the same thing. But yeah, we should understand, yeah, it may be possible, and we should try to rectify as much as possible, and we should move ahead in our determination to chant and to read and to serve. So this is what this verse is saying, and then specifically this 6 kind of urges has been says. You can more refer the nectar of instruction that even Ashtamadhav was referring. The first verse, Vacho Vegam, Manasa Krodha Vegam, Jeva Vegam, Udarupastha Vegam, Etan Vegan Yo Visaheda Dhira, Sarvam Apimam Prithvim Sasishyat. So it says that how the 6 urges, and it goes in the very excellent purport of Srila Prabhupada on the nectar of instructions. He gives the more details about all the 6 urges, and that we can move ahead with them. So having said that, we are coming close to the session, so I will leave for some times for reflection, questions and answers, or any comments. But thank you so much for this time. I'm really deeply grateful for all of your time to spend with me, and with Bhagavad Gita. As I told, this is the best we could do in this Kali Yuga, to get back to Bhagavad Gita again and again. Hare Krishna. So if anyone has any comments, question, anything they would like to share.
Thank you very much, Mukharavinda Prabhu, for the wonderful class in recitation of the chapter 5th. We are doing Chad. Thank you very much for the insight and the wonderful recitation. Thank you.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mother.
and very, very pertinent in the direction the world is going today. Is extremely pertinent. And Lord Krishna was saying all this to a Kshatriya, which is the administrative class. We should make it a point that the administrative class of the world. So listen to Bhagavad Gita, because if they become purified, then the world will be purified. They will make sure everyone. So it is really a message. I mean, it is a message for everyone, but it is specifically the administrative class. They have to get purified with the message of Bhagavad Gita. It's very important because they are so entrenched in sense gratification that they can't see the ultimate goal of life.
Yeah, that's true.
We have one comment on the chat from Rupa Shri Mataji. She's saying, very beautiful class, Prabhu. Love the points, waking up early, doing japa and all tapasya as Prabhupada has said.
Yeah. And I can just share my own personalization. It's definitely so different. I've seen that even sometimes people like my mind says that, oh, no need to wake up, or even though wake up, no need to take bath or anything. But I see that when I forcefully fight with my mind and I take bath in the morning as soon as I get up after performing other duties, and then I'll see that it definitely circulates I'm much more fresh, I'm much more concentrate, I'm much more but the general nature of this word is like mode of ignorance and passion, that it just drags us down, even though we are trying to do, and especially and it's so much fresh, and even in the Ayurveda it says like we should take cold shower, and if you take the cold shower, you can definitely feel so much difference in your whole day and your own body and your own health, that if you do this kind of practices, the practical tapasya, it is just going to make you make you free, make you better in all other things. But I'm sure they will the modern doctors will not say all this advice. They might say that, oh, you just get the pills and have all the vitamins and everything to get the immunity. But if you really is one of the best immunity, we can see that when we take the cold shower in the morning, it just improves so many because it revitalizes your own body. So, but this is there in the Shastras to get up early in the morning. And thank you, Mataji, Rupshri Vasudha, Mataji. Yeah.
Thank you, Prabhu. Very nice class. Very nice explanations, actually. Really enjoyed.
You are so senior. Thank you for joining. And
no problem. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Yeah.
This was my first session with you, and I think this was so reflective. This was like self-reflective sessions where you feel that you have a mirror in front of you. So whatever comments come on that mirror, if it's positive, you're like, yeah, we should be doing that, and if it's negative, we're like, oh my God, that is me. So it is so stimulating, and it is so inspiring. Thank you so much for this wonderful session.
Thank you so much, Jayashree Mataji. I'm happy. It's all Prabhupads and Acharyas. I'm just trying to be a medium. So everything is there in the Prabhupada's book, and I'll encourage everyone in this call to see and take out some time every day to read Bhagavad Gita, especially the book. And there's a program we call BSH page by page. And if you see the Prabhupada's Bhagavad Gita, it has 700 pages. And even if you read 2 pages every day, you will finish in 1 year the whole book. If you read 4 pages, you will be lucky in 6 months. And if you read 8 pages, you'll be much more lucky in 3 months. So, and you just keep and what to do when you finish, you just start reading again. So the more, this is a very nice formula, and I'll encourage everyone to please read Srila Prabhupada's book, because everything is in the books. And again, in one reading, it may not be. And as we all, I'm sure we have went through in our life, and we have got calculus, this, that, what not, trigonometry, and or not algebra. It doesn't happen overnight. It took years and years and years and years of practice, and years of devoting into that science. Similarly, spiritual science, we have to devote ourselves at least some part, like chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra as much as possible, reading Srila Prabhupada's book. These are the 2 topmost activity has been recommended in our sampradaya, in our tantra, that if anyone takes, they can make a very steadfast progress in their own consciousness, because the best part is that you don't need any approval. You yourself, like a person who is hungry, once he gets feed, he himself knows that I'm getting satisfied. Similarly, when we do these two activities, you yourself will feel that, okay, I'm progressing in my own Krishna conscious journey. Or as you so nicely pointed out, like a mirror, Jayashree Mataji, that the mirror will be much more clear. For most of the time, people are so much in ignorance that thinks the whole mirror is covered by the dust, and the whole process of this chanting is actually to cover that mirror which is with the dust, so that you can clearly see all the positive and negative things, and work on that, and don't get depressed by that. It's just not to get depressed, but to find out, okay, how can I move to the next step? And a sincere person, what is required is just sincerity, okay, to accept that, okay, I'm here this step, but I will move to the next steps if I follow these things, and not get discouraged in any steps. So that is what the bravery, that is what is braveness is there. That is what dareness is there. It's not dareness to go to the hill and then seeing the photo of, okay, I'm in one leg or something. The real dareness is that, okay, I want to improve in my spiritual life. I want to become a better person. Who am I? Like the better version of myself I want to become. And that's what these books will teach us, to how to become better person, better spouse, better parent, better son, better daughter, better countryman, better national, whatever you want. Hare Krishna.
Right. Thank you so much, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Hare Krishna. And we have this is our we have 3 classes. One is Wednesday today, and then Saturday, Sunday. And due to COVID situation is online today, but Saturday, Sunday is in temple in person. Saturday morning 7:30, and I'll highly encourage people. It starts at 6:15 actually with the chanting session, and then it goes with wonderful greeting of the deities, and then Sunday at 3:30 in the temple, ISKCON of Silicon Valley, Mountain View. So I'll request all of you to join us whenever possible.
So, I'm sorry, is the temple open on
Yes,
Sunday?
temple is open. Yeah, temple is open. It
Like
just,
you can go for darshan there?
yeah, you can go for the darshan, and it's just at limited time because of recent surge again because of this COVID. They have some some protocols, but yeah, you can connect with any of us, and you can get the temple timings. If you want, I can, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Do you know any devotees, Mataji, here in the?
I wouldn't say I know it, because I live in Marin County. So.
Oh, I see. Okay, I just texted you my phone number. You can just note it down, and
Okay.
And we can connect more. I can connect you with the temple program more.
All right. Thank you so much, Prabhuji.
Oh no, thank you. I'm happy to be and welcome to our family. I'm so happy that you could join, and welcome to.
Thank you. It's such an eye opener. Thank you so much for the stimulating session. Thank you.
Yeah, Hare Krishna. Yes. Anyway, sorry, I'm so we're 6 minutes over time, but yes, so a wonderful discussion and hearing from all of you. Thank you so much, and Hare Krishna. Have a wonderful dream of Krishna, and we'll just do a little bit 2 minutes of kirtan because that's what is the essence of our overall reading. Nama Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Tatarine Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhaktavrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Ram Sankirtan ki Jai, Srila Prabhupada ki Jai, Grantaraj Bhagavad Gita ki Jai. I wish all good fortune and